Fun fact, for the beginning of this year, 2026, I canceled not only mine, but my son's healthcare, all of our health insurance, our health benefits, everything through my big girl corporate job, because not only did we get a nice hefty deductible added, our cost out of pocket went up almost 30%. No, thank you. I am not buying into this. Now tell me why. Tell me why. I just downloaded GoodRx. I went to refill all of my scripts. Tell me why prior with my insurance, because I'm on a lot of meds, guys. I'm on a lot. Just to maintain this mental status, okay? Tell me why prior with my healthcare, with my benefits, that I was paying an astronomical amount for out of pocket. Like, you guys don't even know how much I was paying out of pocket, okay? I think a lot of people just assume that it's good and affordable. No, it wasn't. Prior to, I paid about $50 a month out of pocket for my prescriptions, just my regular monthly prescriptions. Tell me why it's now $8. Now, I'm already aware, everybody in my life, friends, family, coworkers, my husband, everybody thinks I'm insane and crazy, but like, I'm not. I'm not, I promise you. What my new out-of-pocket cost would have been just to have insurance, just for me and my son, nothing crazy, nothing grandiose, nothing top tier, just basic coverage was going to be almost $1,000 a month. That does not include out-of-pocket expenses. That does not include the new deductible that was added. That is just basic coverage, what's coming out of my paycheck. And I am refusing to participate, no. And before I canceled, I called my doctor's office, my son's doctor, my gynecologist, for example, and just said, what is the out-of-pocket, the self-pay? What is the self-pay option if you don't have insurance? You guys would be baffled if you knew how little it costs to do self-pay. So all's to say, this is the first time I'm refilling any of my scripts for the year 2026. And in my mind, I prepared myself to pay, I don't know, I guess I was in my mind thinking I'd pay $250. Like, just in my mind, that's just what I was assuming I would have to pay for 3 of my prescriptions. This is 3 scripts, okay? Not 1, not 2, 3. In my mind, I was thinking $250. Like, that is what I'll have to pay out of pocket, and I was okay with that, okay? Okay, and please nobody come to me about a catastrophic event. Please don't be dumb, because I was insured, and I had a catastrophic event 2 years ago, and I'm still dealing with it, so please don't.
My monthly injection is normally $60 a month that I take for my migraines. So I went to go pick it up yesterday because I'm due for my shot today. Guess how much it was? Just guess. Nope. Higher. $780. $780, and it's normally $60. I can't buy it. I have tried GoodRx. I have tried Amazon Pharmacy. What else did I try? I have looked up like copay cards. I have insurance through my husband's work. So that's the cost after insurance is $780. The pharmacist told me that whenever it was originally sent in, there was some sort of a coupon code attached to it. So that's why I was getting it for $60 a month. I never would have even started it had I known it was going to be almost $800 to refill every single month. This isn't even a life-saving medication. This is just so that I can live a semi-pain-free life. So for the people that need life-saving medication and can't afford it, what on earth are you supposed to do?
More and more Americans are canceling their healthcare insurance, not because they don't care about their health, but because they simply can't afford to keep paying for it. That sounds almost backward, doesn't it? Health insurance is supposed to protect you. It's supposed to give you peace of mind. But for many people, it's starting to feel like just another expensive bill that doesn't actually deliver when it matters most. Over the past few years, insurance premiums, the amount people pay every month just to have coverage have actually been rising steadily. For some families, those payments are now as high as rent or a car loan. And that's before, you even go to the doctor. On top of premiums, there are deductibles, co-pays, and out-of-pocket costs. So even if you are insured, you can still end up paying thousands of dollars when you need it. At this point, people are starting to ask a very simple question: what exactly am I paying for? So hi guys, welcome back again to the YouTube channel. It's so good to have you. Thank you so much for clicking when you saw this video. So I'm going to let the rest of the videos roll, then I'll come back with more commentary. Credit belongs to original creators of these videos. Please do what to like, subscribe, share, and drop your own take in the comment. So let's go watch, then I'll come back with more commentary.
So my husband and I decided we were not going to have insurance this year, and I want to tell you guys like reasons why, and I want to tell you how much we just paid paying cash in like an emergency situation, because this is going to blow your mind. So I've always paid like $2,000 a month every single month, Blue Cross Blue Shield, for 2 kids and 2 adults. Like, given when you're having babies, if you have something medically wrong with you, like of course you need insurance. However, 2 healthy adults, 2 healthy kids. My doctors that I am going to for myself and my kids no longer take insurance. So that kind of like opened up our eyes to like, okay, why would we carry insurance? My pediatrician that I switched my kids to, they just don't take insurance. And I think he's the best of the best in Tampa area. And I do functional medicine. My doctor doesn't take insurance. So the blood work, the gut tests, the hormone testing, all of that is like specific for my needs. I absolutely love it. I think it's so worth it. I think that should be the standard in medicine, period. So that's all out of pocket cash too. If everything we're doing is all out of pocket cash now, why would we pay for $2,000 a month to essentially throw that away? But I am very like anxiety, like, oh my God, what if this, what if that? And we had our first like situation where my 4-year-old cut his eyeball, and it's actually really, really painful for a cut on your eyeball. And so I had to take him to a eye specialist, and I took him in, and I was like holding my breath, like, oh my gosh, how much is this gonna be? Like, we don't have insurance. And he was seen that day. They treated his eye. They figured out where the cut was. They put a contact lens in. They gave us antibiotics. Guess how much we paid? $149. Who have catastrophic cancer plan, and that is $50 a month versus $2,000 a month. So if you've ever wondered and you've ever kind of debated, like, I will be documenting my and like adding up what I pay like for medical bills, and I'm just gonna see if it's worth it this year. And so far, so good.
Okay, I'm gonna hop on a soapbox for just a couple of minutes and tell you why I, a physician, do not have health insurance in the traditional sense for my family this year. Last year was frustrating enough. $17.50 a month for my family of 5, cheapest plan available on the healthcare exchange, just wanting truly catastrophic coverage, HSA eligible, with a $4,000 deductible for an individual, $8,000 for family, and probably a copay after that for a high out-of-pocket max. So we were spending over $20,000 a year, and unless something bad happened, we're getting really nothing. Preventative care visits for my kids, but my wife and I pay cash to wellness physicians, and so really we're not getting much. It was there just for emergencies. Well, this year it went up another $200, close to $2,000 a month, and I just couldn't stomach it. Paying $24,000 a year, and then having to pay $4,000 or $5,000 more to hit a deductible before there was any true benefit, that's insane. And I won't go down the rabbit hole of what I've seen in my private practice in terms of markups and lab costs, but it just didn't sit well. So I contemplated going totally uninsured, just self-insuring, putting aside $1,000 or $2,000 a month just in case something happened. I chickened out on that, but we did short-term insurance. So it's a 3+1, so a 4 total month short-term medical insurance, and it's truly catastrophic only. But at most, $5,000 out of pocket if something bad happens, if there's a hospitalization, and so much easier to stomach. We still pay for our own primary care visits if we use them, so we'll have to pay for kids' pediatric visits, but that's really the only thing we're using it for. After that, we're going to do a cost sharing program. So there's a secular one called Sedera, I believe, and that's my plan for the remaining 8 months, and that's for $600. They will cost share anything over $5,000. You pick what number you're comfortable with, so you can have a lower amount, but you pay more per month. But that's kind of what we decided, and so then we'll be covered. And even factoring in dental visits, pediatric visits, everything, we'll still save $13,000 this year. So this system's broken. Something's wrong with it. I just need to vent for a minute.
Many Americans are asking questions that have led them, into making tough decisions, which is just cancel the insurance altogether. They would rather take the risk than keep pouring money into something that feels unreliable or out of reach. For healthy individuals, especially younger people, the logic can seem straightforward. If you are really sick, if you're really sick, why spend, hundreds of dollars every month to insure insurance that you actually barely use? That money could, go toward rent, food, savings, or even paying off debt. In a time when the cost of living is already high, people are forced to prioritize. But here's the problem: healthcare isn't just something you can predict. You might be fine today, but one accident or unexpected illness can change everything overnight. Without insurance, a single, hospital visit can cost tens of thousands of dollars. That's the kind of bill that can ruin someone financially for years. So this isn't really a good choice people are making. It's a false one. It's what happens when the system becomes too expensive for the average person to stay in. And now there's another layer of this whole thing, because it's beginning to sound very interesting on the reason why a whole lot of people are deciding to cut off healthcare completely. Some Americans aren't just canceling their insurance, they are also leaving the country, because to you, it might just feel like, oh, they have decided to cancel, but to them, they literally need it. But they are forced to do it because of the situation on ground, which is no money, right? That, people are not deciding to move to countries where things, they have the privilege of having universal health care and, what have you. Okay. Now, these individuals, the decisions isn't just about money, it's about peace of mind. Imagine living a place where you don't have to, think twice before going to the doctor, where you don't delay treatment because you're worried about the bill, where getting sick doesn't automatically mean financial stress. That's a completely different way of living. And in the US, many people hesitate before seeking care. They will ignore symptoms, skip checkups, skip their checkups, and of course, delay treatment because they are trying to avoid costs. That can lead to worse care, health outcomes for a lot of people in the long run. A small problem becomes a big one, simply because it wasn't addressed on time. And this is why so many of people are now deciding it's better that they move out of the US and find somewhere else where healthcare is absolutely either cheap or, free of charge.
And I tell you the absolute joy that I'm going to feel when I move out of the country and finally cancel my American health insurance plan that costs me $363 a month, I don't think that can be understated. This was the absolute cheapest plan that I was given on the marketplace in the state of Florida. Of course, coming with deductibles and copays that the European mind could not even comprehend. There's a lot of expenses I'm not going to miss when I move across the ocean, but this is probably the one I will miss the least. Pretty much all the insurance I pay for here, I'm not going to miss at all. Flood insurance? Don't even get me started. I know the healthcare system is not perfect where I'm going, but it's got to be better than what I'm dealing with now, right? I was thinking of doing my final budget here in the state of Florida before I move and sharing it with y'all. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in seeing. But until then, my name is Zach, and I'm moving to Portugal in a matter of days, so stick around. And if there's one thing I'm sure of, is that I'm not going to be spending over $10,000 a year in all of my insurances combined anymore. That's going to be a thing of the past. I hope.
Because you guys know that in countries with universal healthcare, people are more likely to seek help sooner. That doesn't just benefit individuals, it actually helps the entire system by preventing serious, expensive conditions down the line. Okay, so when Americans move abroad for healthcare reasons, they are not just chasing cheaper bills, they are chasing a different relationship with health itself. Of course, moving to another country isn't an easy decision. It means leaving behind family, friends, familiar surroundings. It involves navigating visas, jobs, and new, cultures. So the fact that people are willing to take that step says a lot about how frustrated they have become. It also raises a bigger question: should access to healthcare be this complicated in the first place? Healthcare is one of the most basic human needs. It's right up there with food, water, and shelter. When people don't feel secured about their health, it affects everything: how they work, how they plan their future, even how they sleep at night. A system that makes people choose between financial stability and medical security is bound to create stress and dissatisfaction. Okay, now to be fair, The US healthcare system does have strength, and that's the truth, okay? It's home to some of the most advanced medical technologies and highly skilled professionals in the world. People travel there for specialized treatment. Innovation is strong, and there is a high level of expertise. But those strengths don't, mean much if the average person can afford to access them. That's the core of the issue. It's not just having a good system in quote, it's about having a system that works for the majority of people. Right now, many Americans feel like they are paying more and getting less, and when that feeling spreads across a large population, behavior starts to change. People cancel insurance, people delayed care, and of course, yes, some people leave the country entirely. This trend also reflects a shift in mindset. In the past, people might have accepted high cost as just the way things are. But today, with more global awareness and the ability to compare systems, Americans are seeing that other options actually exist. They are realizing that healthcare doesn't have to be this expensive or very stressful as it is. And once you see that, it's hard to actually unsee it. At the end of the day, this isn't just an economic issue. It's a human issue actually. It's about how people value their well-being and what they are willing to sacrifice to protect it. When someone cancels their insurance, it's not because they don't care about their health. It's often because they feel trapped between two bad options. Pay more than they can afford, or take a risk they hope they won't regret. And when someone decides to leave the country for healthcare reasons, it's not necessarily because they want to abandon their home, it's because they are searching for a better quality of life, one where health isn't a constant source of anxiety. That says a lot about where things stand. The real question going forward is whether the system will adapt, or whether more people will continue to opt out one way or the other. Because at its core, healthcare shouldn't feel like a gamble. It should feel like a safety net. And right now, for a growing number of Americans, that safety net just doesn't feel strong anymore for a lot of them. It doesn't feel strong enough for a whole lot of them. And that's why I have a lot of them now deciding to migrate to other countries in search for better healthcare, or quality and affordable healthcare at least. Anyway, guys, let me know what you all think in the comment section. Let's have that conversation. Please do well to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and drop your own take in the comments. Credit to all creators on these videos, and see you all on my next. Thank you for watching, guys. Bye.